Hey Mixers, welcome back to another NFL player props video, and we're also going to go over game sides, totals, and spreads. It's been a couple weeks since you've seen me because I've been on vacation. I was going to try to upload some videos, which I did not do. I was just enjoying my vacation. But now we get to review some of those things. We just needed to review that last game, Kansas City and Jacksonville, which we didn't get right. And then here are the bets. The bets ended up okay for week 5. We came out ahead on the game bets by a lot. And then we came out a little bit ahead on the touchdowns. So that was a pretty good week for game bets and touchdowns, considering the other weeks. Player props did not do so well. This was 2 weeks ago. Just keep that in mind. And there's no video today because I broke my camera. So yeah, that should be fun for a couple of days until I get a new one. The chalky plays that I gave you all cash. So I gave you 5 players that I told you I was going to lower their lines and just put them together in a couple of chalky slips. Those did cash, so I got some double ups on those. And then the week 6 bets. So I did give out a couple of bets on X. That's the only place where I posted them. I did not post a video. I did not post on YouTube. I just tweeted a couple of things on X and had a pretty good week 6. Decent anyway. We had Jackson Smith and Jigba for a touchdown. We also had Jackson Smith and Jigba for a ladder to 100 plus receiving yards, and he hit that. We are 7-0 on our ladders this season. So that is pretty crazy for the NFL. And then we barely missed the touchdown parlay and barely missed the 6-point teaser because the Lions could not cover a 6-point teaser, which was a little insane. But yeah, that was our week 6. So jumping into week 7, we have 2 teams on bye this week, the Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. We have 6 teams on bye next week. So that is going to be a huge week for Survivor and also fantasy football. All right, I did bet on some awards, so I wanted to throw these out here just in case you guys wanted to also bet on them or if you were thinking about them. These are bets that I made this week. So Offensive Rookie of the Year, I made 3 bets for that. I bet on Tyler Warren plus 900. He's on pace for 82 receptions, 1,000 receiving yards, and 8.5 touchdowns. I do think he would need to bring those touchdowns. If he broke 10 touchdowns, I think he'd be, pretty locked in for this award. And then we have Ashton Genty, who was the favorite. Jackson Dart is now the favorite, which I think is insane because you have to win games to win this award, in my opinion. And I just don't think they have a lot of games that they're going to win. So I like Ashton Genty at this new price, plus 600. He was the favorite going into the year, but now we're getting a discount on him. He's on pace for only 40 receptions, so nothing spectacular. Only 1,200 rushing yards, so again, nothing spectacular. But he is on pace for 14 touchdowns, which is pretty decent for a rookie. So I do think he has a pretty good chance of still winning this award. For the price, I wanted to get in on that. And then Emeka Egbuka, we don't know if he is going to fade away the rest of the year as Mike Evans and Chris Godwin get healthy, or if he's just going to continue to produce like he has been. I do have him on 2 of my fantasy teams, I believe, so he's been awesome for me. And I got him at plus 600 for this award. He's on pace for 76.5 receptions, 1,300 receiving yards, and 14 touchdowns if he continues the pace that he's on. Obviously, that's a big if because we don't know if he will continue to be the focal point of this offense or not. And then Tedero McMillan, plus 1,200. He's on pace only for 76.5 receptions, 1,000 receiving yards, and only 5.7 touchdowns. So he would really need to pick up the pace. But, the Carolina Panthers really came on at the end of last year. And if they do something similar this year where they really come on at the end of the year, this guy could end up becoming the favorite by the end of the year. Also, I could hedge out of these at any moment. So I probably will hedge out of a couple of these if their prices improve. All right, and then MVP. I did get Baker at 425 this week. I don't know if you can still get him for that. If you can, I would do it. He's on pace for 4,000 plus passing yards, 34 touchdowns, 450 rushing yards almost, which is crazy. And then I have another guy in here, Patrick Mahomes, plus 450. I found him at. His price was way different at all the different sites I checked. So definitely shop around and find the best price for him. But he is on pace for 4,200 passing yards, 31 passing touchdowns, 600 plus rushing yards, and 11 rushing touchdowns. Now, he's probably not going to keep up that rushing touchdown pace that he's been on, but he has been absolutely insane. If the Chiefs battle back and win this division, or even if they don't win the division and fight through the wild card round, Obviously I guess this award would have been decided before that. But if they battle back and win the division or get close, I really think Patrick Mahomes should be at least in consideration for the MVP award. And then I took a really big long shot on Aaron Rodgers because they're doing so well right now, and this I think I put $5 on it, and it pays $750 or something like that, maybe like $850. I don't know what it was, but it was a lot of money. He's only on pace for 3,470 plus passing yards and 34 passing touchdowns. Obviously, he's not contributing with his legs either. But this could be like a storyline type of a thing. I could see it happening. So I just put a little bit of money on it. Maybe his odds come down a little bit if they make the playoffs, and I can just sell out of it. I don't know. All right, getting into the games. The tonight's game, Pittsburgh Steelers at Cincinnati Bengals. Spread is 5.5 when I saw it. 44.5 was the total. This was all last night. I'm not making any bets in this game, but I am leaning towards Pittsburgh on the money line, Bengals on the spread, and the over 44.5. So I do think it'll be close, and I think the Bengals will be able to put up some points here. So it may not be 24-21, may end up being a little bit like 21-17, a little bit lower, but I'm not making these bets like I said. Those are just my leans. So the LA Rams at the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. The spread is only 3, and I am on Jacksonville's side on this one. I mean, they are used to playing in London. They typically do play pretty well in London. The Rams might be without Puka Nacua. That's what it looks like to me. And they are only scoring 23 points per game and allowing only 18.3 points per game. So I could see this being a low-scoring game where the Jaguars pull out a win because their defense has also been playing pretty well this year. I did make a bet. My favorite bet in this game would be the under 44.5. I think I did end up making a bet on this, maybe in a teaser. So we'll go over that on the last slide. New Orleans Saints at the Chicago Bears. Spreads 5.5, totals 46.5. Saints have won twice at home in their last 2 meetings, but obviously those were different teams. The Saints are not scoring very many points this year. The Bears are doing much better. So I will have to side with the Bears on this one. I will take the Saints on the spread, and I'll take the over 46.5. I do think both teams are going to be able to put up points, and I do like that total, so I may throw that into a parlay, like a teaser total parlay. We'll see at the end here. Miami at Cleveland. Spread is only 2.5, which is insane. It's favoring the Browns, which some people think is crazy. I don't think that's crazy. I think the Browns could demolish the Dolphins, or they could win a close game. So I'm saying like 21-20 is kind of what I'm seeing. I don't know. That would be the most points the Browns have scored all season. But I think they can do it against this soft Dolphins team. We'll just have to see. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Dolphins were able to keep it close. So I'm going to lean with them on the spread. But I would lean with Cleveland winning the game. And then New England at Tennessee. I do like this matchup, and I am considering the Patriots as my survivor pick this week, even though it is a road game. Home teams have won in... They won... Let's see. What the hell? Oh, home teams have won in 2024 and 2021 in this series. So Titans 1-1, Patriots 1-1. Patriots are scoring 25 and allowing 20. Titans are only scoring about 14 and allowing 27. So I do like New England here. I like New England on the spread, but I think the Tennessee Titans could cover a touchdown. So if you can't get it for 6.5, I probably would stay away. I do like the Patriots in a teaser, and I did do that. I put them in a teaser. The Raiders and the Chiefs. I love the Chiefs on this 12.5 spread. I saw it go down already to 11.5, and I think I even saw a 10.5. But I did get the 12.5. I think I got an ESPN bet. So I did bet this. I do think the Chiefs will win the game. The Raiders do always play them tough, though. I know the Raiders are not a good team, but they're never a good team, and they always play this Chiefs team very tough. So I do expect that they can cover this spread, the Raiders. All right, the Eagles and the Vikings. I am on the Vikings side. I know I'm not fading the Eagles. I don't think that they're a horrible, washed-up team. I just think the Vikings are actually a little bit better than what they've shown us in the past 2 weeks. So I don't know who's going to be the quarterback. I haven't looked to see if any official announcement has been made, but I really don't care. This, to me, is more about the defenses going up against each other and their matchup there. So Yeah, I think that the Minnesota defense does match up well with the Philly offense. And so, yeah, I think the points can be scored on both sides in this game. I do lean towards the over a little bit. And I like Minnesota in a teaser, but I don't think I ended up doing that. But I think you could consider them in a teaser. All right, the Panthers at the Jets. I like the Jets. I like the Jets to get their first win. I know they're in disarray. I know that Garrett Wilson, some weird stuff is going on with him right now. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but this just screams letdown spot for the Panthers to me. They just won at home. Now they're going on the road, which they don't play well on the road. So I just want to see lots of points in this game because I love the over. Over 42.5 is what I saw it at, and I love that number. All right, Giants and the Broncos. I hate the 7 spread. I want Denver at 6.5, but I will lean towards Denver on the money line, the spread, and the over on the total, because I do think the Giants can put up some points here. I would consider Denver in a teaser, and I think I did do that. So we'll find out in a minute. Indianapolis, and the Chargers. I am siding with the Colts here. They haven't won against the Chargers since 2016, and I think now is the time. The Chargers are getting a little, well, they're starting to try and get a little bit healthier. I know Justin Herbert can always make some plays, but I think the Colts defense is no joke, and I think they can catch some interceptions here from Justin Herbert if he's not careful. All right, Washington and Dallas. I just want to see, this is the highest total of the week. I think it started even higher than this. And I do think it's going to be a high scoring game, but I think it can't clear this 55 number, like 54.5. That seems high to me. So I think these teams could both do it, but I am going to go under the number here. I'm not putting this in just yet. It's something I'm thinking about. But I think Dallas can win this game. All right, Green Bay and Arizona. I like Green Bay in a teaser. So the spread's 6.5, perfect for a teaser. So I did put them in a teaser. I think they can easily win this game against the Cardinals. I don't think the Cardinals are as good as anybody thinks they are. I've been down on them since before the season started. I bet under on their win total. And yeah, I see that they have an improved defense. I just am not buying that the whole team is any better. And I don't care whether it's Jacoby Brissett or Kyler Murray. I just don't think this is a good team versus I think Green Bay is one of the top tier teams in the league right now. So yeah, this one was easy for me. All right, the Falcons at the San Francisco 49ers. I'm on the Falcons side. Obviously, we just saw them beat the Bills, so this should be kind of a letdown spot for them. But the 49ers are just too unhealthy, and the Falcons have, in my opinion, probably the best player in the league, Bijan Robinson. And I think that Drake London is also one of the best players in the league. So I'm going to roll with the Falcons. I want to see them chase the Buccaneers for that division title. Whether they can get it or not, I don't know. Hopefully we at least see like a good effort from them. And I just think this 49ers team is too banged up. I think they're going to start losing a lot of games soon. All right, Tampa Bay and Detroit. This one's going to be fun. The Bucs won previously in Detroit last year. The Lions won twice before that in the 2023 season, once in the regular season, once in the postseason. And it's typically higher scoring. Both of these teams tend to play higher scoring games in general. I'm going to lean with the Lions here. They are at home. They just came off a really bad loss to the Chiefs, so it is a get-up spot for them. Baker Mayfield on the road is also, a good spot, but I just think the Lions overwhelm them here. I think the injuries on the Buccaneers have not quite caught up to them, and I think that they catch up this week. So I just think the Lions roll here. I don't think it's close, so I don't think the Bucs even cover the spread. This to me sounds like the Eagles game against the Bucs, where Baker is doing some crazy stuff. Maybe he puts up some points, but just doesn't quite get the cover. So I think you could consider Detroit in a money line parlay. All right, Houston at Seattle. The spread's 3.5. Texans have not won since 2009, and they're not going to win this one either. In my opinion, I think Seattle will win. Houston will keep it close. 23-20 is the score, is what I'm seeing. And I don't even know if it'll be that high. It could be a little bit lower, but I think both teams can get into the 20s here. So I do like that over on the 40.5, but I haven't bet it. All right, here are the things I have actually bet. So I did a moneyline parlay with Detroit versus Tampa Bay minus 250 with Cleveland versus Miami, kind of a little riskier one, minus 135. Put that together, you get 143. And then I did an alt total parlay with the LA Rams and at Jacksonville in London. I took it up 6 points and went under 50.5. And then Carolina at the New York Jets, I took it down 6 points, 36.5 over. And then we get plus 102 for that. And then the teaser, I took New England on the road against Tennessee, Denver at home against the Giants, and Green Bay at Arizona, all to just win by 2 points or more. I think we can get that done for plus 144. And then I straight bet the Raiders at the Chiefs plus the 12.5 on the spread. And then here are some game bets for you as well. Got to skip that screen. Jamar Chase anytime touchdown. I think this is good. Yeah, you can boost this on Better right now if you're playing on the DFS apps. Better has a boost on this where you can get about 5x if you pair it with any random square. Or you can get it plus 135 on a traditional sports book, which I think is a great price. So here's what's happened so far against this team. Garrett Wilson had a touchdown week 1. Jackson Smith and Jigba did not have a touchdown, but there were 2 receiving touchdowns in that game with Seattle. Hunter Henry had 2 receiving touchdowns in the Patriots game. Justin Jefferson did not have a touchdown, but there were 2 receiving touchdowns in the Vikings game. And then there was no touchdown for the Browns, just barely. I think Noah Fant is worth a sprinkle at plus 425 for a touchdown as well. I think he could have a good game. He doesn't have a lot of competition right now. And also, the Steelers have tended to be weak against tight ends. So we'll talk about that in a minute because I think I took his receiving yards, if I remember correctly. And then just looking at Jamar Chase's history against this team, he has scored a touchdown in 4 out of the 6 games against this team. Although the two games where he did not score were home games for the Bengals. So that's one thing to consider. I like the Aaron Rodgers-Joe Flacco combo over 454.5. You could just take one of the quarterbacks if you want, if you prefer the lower number. Both quarterbacks have been averaging only around 205 passing yards per game. So obviously that would not get us to this number, not even close. But I think both of these defenses are susceptible to like a pass attack. And I think that we could end up seeing actually a crazy high scoring game because I do think the Bengals can get points on the board. And then Noah Fant over 28.5 receiving yards. This looks like a terrible bet because he has not cleared this line at all this year. But he has caught 3 to 4 passes in every single game. They've just all been short passes. So now, I do think that he is playing with a little bit better quarterback. I think Joe Flacco is a bit of an upgrade from Jake Browning, although I think Jake Browning is decent. He has obviously not been playing that well, but last year he was playing well, and he is decent, I think. He just has, I don't know what's wrong with him. He hasn't been playing well. But so I do think Joe Flacco is a bit of an upgrade. We know Joe Flacco does like to hyper-target his tight ends. The Steelers have been especially weak versus the tight end. The reason we're getting this number exactly, I think, is because Njoku on the Browns had exactly 28 on 3 receptions. But I think that was with Dylan Gabriel. Yeah, it should have been. So, kind of weird. But yeah, because it just happened. So, Dylan Gabriel only got Njoku to 28. We know Joe Flacco would have got him to like 45. So that's what he's going to do here with Noah Fant, I think. All right, so here are the player best bet summary, the Aaron Rodgers-Joe Flacco combo, and then the Noah Fant receiving yards. I also like the Jamar Chase touchdown call for plus 135. So as usual, I know this is a bit of a longer video, and you guys, I haven't posted a video in like 2 weeks, so you're getting back into the habit here. But since there's only 2 best bets, if those 2 best bets hit, then I will just choose a random commenter on this video to get some cash from me. So don't forget to comment. Let me know what you think. And hopefully we can all enjoy the game tonight. Thanks, guys.